कर्तुराज्ञया प्राप्यते फलम कर्म किं परम कर्म तज्जडम। कर्तुराज्ञया प्राप्यते फलम कर्म किं परम कर्म तज्जडम। ईश्वरार्थ कृत्रिमहोदधो पतन कारणम फलम शाश्वतम गति निरोधकम। ईश्वरार्पितम नेच्छया कृतम चित्तशोधकम मुक्ति साधकम। काय वाङ्मना कार्यमुत्तमम पूजनम जप चिंतनम क्रमात् जगत ईषधि युक्त सेवनम अष्टमूर्तिभो देव पूजनम। उत्तमस्तवात् उच्चमन्दतः चित्तजं जप ध्यानमुत्तमम्। Let us look at, because already 2 days break. Kartuhu ajnaya prapyate phalam. That means me being a karta, I am supposed to work. As we discussed in the last class, remember, if you do not work like a donkey, you will work like a dog. In short. So, kartuhu ajnaya prapyate phalam. I am a karta, but not a karma phala data. So, any given action that I do, I need to do because not that I will get this result, that result, or this result must come or that result must not come, but because I can do it. I have the ability, I have got the opportunity to do. That's why I do it. And later on, as you grow emotionally, you will ask the question, what else to do? If I don't this thing, what else to do? That is more out of maturity, out of understanding. So if you cannot come to that stage, at least you have to tell, look, I have got the opportunity, I have got the ability to do. That's why let me do. Only that will come when you understand more and more that you are a karta, not karma phala data. That's why understanding yourself as more and more, not that you are karma phala data. Because why we want to be karma phala data? Because deep within, bhoktrutvam is very strong in us. The sense of enjoyment is very strong in us. So when I consider myself without my knowledge that I am a bhokta, automatically I don't have much choice other than not looking at myself as karta, but while being a karta, while being a doer, I subconsciously pick up this notion that I am a bhokta. That's why I dwell upon on karma phala. And indirectly what I say, I am a karma phala data. That's why may you know. Because karma kim param karma tatjadam. Because the karma that you are doing definitely is not going to bring what you are seeking in your life. Karma will bring definitely karma phala, but not what you are seeking. So what you are really looking for and the karma phala, there is a difference. That's why with reference to every karma phala, you are frustrated. Whether it is marriage, child, getting job, not getting job, getting rid of somebody or loving somebody, doing this, doing that, anything and everything. With reference to any karma phala, you are frustrated. You have some type of mixture of emotion. Some type of, it's not like one side already. including going to heaven also it will happen. In fact, you will curse yourself. At least remember, in this world, you can relate with somebody and get it nowadays possible, okay? Remember, once you go to heaven, permanently you have to relate. What a painful job. You will only curse yourself, nothing else you can do there, okay? However, coming back here, so more you understand this, that karma is inert, karma cannot give what I am seeking, what I am really looking for in my life. Then what happens? You keep doing because you can do. At least for your chitta suddhi, for your betterment of your life, for your, activeness of the mind. Remember, for the betterment of life and the activeness of your mind. Okay. Not only that, the verse number 2 also highlighted, we discussed, Kruti mahodadahu patana karanam. Interestingly, karma, you think that by karma you will uplift yourself. Hey, please don't misunderstand. By doing karma, you are not going to uplift yourself. In fact, you are going to degrade yourself. This is the sad part of it. That's why you can see people, those who are engrossed, what we call in English, workaholic. Do they have life? But they say, hey, I am, the shoulder and everything goes up, you understand? But remember, the more you work to prove, this is the most important aspect. The more you work to prove yourself, the more you become failure within yourself. I'm repeating. The more you work to prove yourself, the more you become failure within yourself. Because if I try to prove with you all, for example's sake, I'm trying to say, if I try to prove with reference to you all, that means what? That moment, I am inferior than you. Without my knowledge, I make yourself as superior to me. So there is inferiority and superiority complex, number one. Number two, I want to overcome. In reality, there is no inferiority. I am not less. But some notion, some confusion in me has set in. Now, because of which, now I consider that I am inferior. Now, with inferiority complex, when I start working, what happens? Let us say I manage to overcome and I become superior than you. So, if I become superior, then what happens? Deep within, will I think, hey, what is this? What did I do? Now, there is another fellow who is also superior than me. There is no end to it. Now what will happen is time will come, I will be so tired and exhausted. Mind will be, literally worn out. The body will not cope with it. Of course, the situation will not be favorable either. Then what happens to me? I am completely destroyed. And the way I fall down, it is difficult for me to wake up again. So that is what he says, Kruti mahodadahu patana karanam. May you know, the more you work without the knowledge, the more you will degrade yourself. That's why Kruti mahodadahu patana karanam. May you know, phalam asaswatam gati nirodhakam. The phalam that you are going to get, it is asaswatam, it is temporary in nature. Nothing is permanent, remember. But somebody said, no, Swamiji, one thing is permanent. Because I was asking somebody, no, Swamiji, one thing permanent. What? My lover is permanent. When I love somebody, that time my lover is permanent. Yes, as long as you love, okay? Don't worry. After a few months, few years, we'll talk. Whether it is permanent or impermanent, you will talk and I will listen to it, okay? Because you are so much infatuated, you do not know what you are talking. So remember, there is nothing called permanent. And moreover, the karma phala, definitely not permanent, including going to heaven, including having Indrapada, means king of heaven. Even if you become the king of all gods, because only, especially in Hinduism, we talk all gods, because other places only one god, okay? There is no second person. So there is no king, there is no competition. Very nicely they have handled. But you all can compete with each other, okay? But God cannot compete. That's another issue altogether. Here he says beautifully, phalam asaswatam. Even if going to heaven, that is also temporary. Yes, it is a length of time, it is an extension of time. Maybe you will live millions of years. Remember, million of years also is also limited in time. This is the difference, nothing much. And remember, gati nirodhakam. So gati means here, the moksha, the mukti, the happiness. It creates obstacle in getting liberation. How? Let us observe very carefully. Remember, what is liberation? Liberation is nothing, releasing one's own self from oneself. Remember, liberation is nothing, releasing yourself from yourself. The more you are capable, the more you are able, of course intelligently, releasing yourself from yourself, the more you are a free person, you are a liberated person, in fact, you are a happy person. Just observe your happiness. Whenever you are happy with reference to even Vishayananda, what we call as, with reference to any sense object, any sense pleasure that you have in your day-to-day life, that time you are happy. When you are able to, what we call common language, when you are able to forget yourself. A drunkard person is happy when under intoxication, okay? I would rather not drunkard. A spiritual person is happy. That's better language now. A spiritual person is really happy as long as the fellow is under the spirit. So why? Because the person is able to forget one's own self. So when you forget yourself without your knowledge, there is a bondage or there is an obstruction, there is a stoppage between you and yourself. That's why you are happy. When you eat some good food, whenever you see some beautiful scenery, whether it's sunrise or sunset or beautiful landscape, or you talk to your dearer ones and nearer ones, that time these situations makes you to forget yourself from yourself. That's why you are happy. But here we are not talking about forgetting yourself, not avoiding yourself, not running away yourself. Because forgetting, running away, avoiding one's own self make you to get more and more addicted. That's why it is called as Vishayananda, the happiness that comes out of comparison. The object that gives that pleasure, the happiness to you, that is called as Vishayananda because it is a comparison-based Ananda, happiness. So here we talk Jnanananda. Remember, here there is no comparison. You are not running away from yourself. That's why every sense pleasure that you get, or the happiness that comes out of sense objects, remember, there is some type of comparison with somebody or something, if not with anybody, anything, at least with reference to your past. Without comparison, you cannot derive at happiness, the so-called happiness or common happiness or worldly happiness. That's why he says, learn to release yourself from yourself. Make yourself free from yourself. Whereas when you do the karma more and more without understanding, what happens? In fact, you don't release yourself. In fact, you try to bind yourself. Remember the story of this young man who left the house we have discussed, came back to the ashram and said, what did he say? Oh Guruji, I have decided to become a free person. Then Guruji smiled and, what is this? Who has bound you? My wife. my children, my parents. Oh. Guruji understood something is seriously wrong with this fellow. Really? Yes. In fact, I want to be a free person. They are so much tightening me. So all the way, all my screws are tightened, because basically this fellow screw doesn't have, okay? He doesn't have screw at all. If there is some screw, you can try it, okay? These set of people do not have screw at all. However, so all are put together, tightening my screw. I am so suffocated. Really, they are destroyed my life. I do not know why I was born in this family. Why did I get married? And okay, nothing wrong in getting married. And also I got a child. I do not know what mistake I did. Oh Guruji, please save me. Please protect me. Please help me to be a free person. Poor Guruji didn't have any other choice. Okay, be with me, no problem. Then what happens? You know what Guruji did? In the evening time, as usual, Guruji did something. And meanwhile, this person could hear in this ashram, there is some sound, there is somebody, screaming that help me. He said, what is this? In ashram, everybody is protected. I am told that in fact, that both mouse and snake live together. And how come here somebody is scared? That means something is wrong, because in the movie, in the picture, everywhere we have, got all this thing. Mouth and snake stay together. Fantastic. Anyway, let me not get into controversial situation. Then here what happens? When he heard, so he tried to, figure it out. From which direction the sound comes. Finally, when he discovered near from a tree. And who is that person? The Guruji himself, holding a tree, shouting, help me, help me. He got shocked. What is going on? I was thinking that my screw is loose. I discover now this person's screw is missing. What's going on with this Guruji? And of course he reached and asked, oh Guruji, what happened? What? You want to help? What is happening? No, yes, please help me. No, what sort of help do you want? No, this tree binds me. I want to be free from this tree. Will you please make me free? This person really said, oh, God knows. I thought I came here to get rescued. Now I have to rescue him. I thought to get some Upadesha, some teaching from him. Now I have to teach him. What is the situation? Better to go back to my family. Better to live with them rather staying with this half-mad person. Okay? But still, out of compassion. This is called teaching comes out of compassion, out of understanding. He tried to say, oh Guruji, nobody binds you. No trees bind you. In fact, you yourself are holding the tree and shouting, please make me free, please help me. Oh, Guru said, oh, really? Okay. Now, yes, look. See, is anybody holding you? Just release your hand. Automatically, you are a free person. Of course, Guruji did it. Then when this person was trying to take a deep breath, that time Guru said, oh son, oh child, I wanted to teach the same thing to you. Tell me who is binding you? Is your wife binding you? Is your parents? Or your child? Who is really binding you? It is you who binding others, you who holding on to others and considering that you are bound. So that's why one should know this, learning to free yourself from yourself. So all your effort should be from morning when you get up. Never ever try to bind yourself. Never ever hold on to anything in your life, including ideas. That's why we make short, Pratasmarami. We have taken this verse, okay? Pratasmarami Hrudi Sanspurat Atmatattvam Sachit Sukham Paramahansam Gatim Turiyam Yat Supna Jagara Susuptim Aveti Nityam Tad Brahma Niskalam Aham Nacha Bhuta Sangaha. I am not this body, I am not this mind. Being reminded in the morning itself. Hope you are doing it, okay? Hope, and hope, okay? Please. So that's why, what you need to do, remember when it is Gati Nirodhakam, then you can say, Swamiji, this is what exactly I wanted to hear from you. That's why I don't do anything. What is there to do? Swamiji, you are the right person to guide me. Because deep within, I don't want to do anything. I want to enjoy my life doing nothing. You understand? By God's grace, I have got this body. Or you can say my prarabdha. Because of prarabdha, I have got body. And I have a banker by default as my parents. And everything is by default. Don't worry. My prarabdha has taken care. Now what is there to do? Let me enjoy. You in fact are teaching. Hey, God say, don't misunderstand me. That's why let us read the verse number 3. So what does the verse number 3 says? Ishwararpitam nechaya krutam chitta shodhakam mukti sadhakam. Ishwararpitam nechaya krutam chitta shodhakam mukti sadhakam. Says beautifully. Hey, look, you don't have much choice. Better. Remember, if you do not work, first thing what is going to happen? Mind will get more and more associated with the sense objects. It's a very dangerous thing to happen. Observe this point. If you do not work, mind will get attached to sense objects digitally, virtually. Imaginary. Because nowadays this digitally, virtually is very popular. Than earlier it was imaginary. Now we have to change our languages, okay? Which we have seen a beautiful concept in Kathopanishad. I hope you remember, those who have attended. Technical point, very subtle point to understand this. The Brahman along with Maya, tamasic aspect is called Jagat. And Brahman along with Maya, Rajasic aspect is Jiva. Brahman along with Maya, Sattvic aspect is Ishvara. Very technical point, okay? In fact, this is the clue of many things in your life. Now, if you observe, if your mind is associated with sense objects, means called Jagat. Jagat is nothing Namarupa, names and forms. So the more the mind is associated with sense objects or Jagat, the creation, the more mind becomes gross, tamas. Can you see this point? And the more the mind is associated you as a Jivatma, as a notion, okay? I am an individual with your likes and dislikes, preference and whatnot, the more your mind becomes Rajasic. Now, let me do this, let me do that. Nothing wrong, it's better actually, okay? Definitely much better than the first one, no doubt in it. And the third point, the more the mind is associated with Vishwara, the totality, definitely the more mind becomes Sattvic, balanced. Can you see this point? That's why you need to work. Not for Jagat's sake, because common people work for Jagat's sake, for the creation sake. You understand? Why do you work? If I ask you, why do you work? This is the language, okay? Hey, why? I am asking you why you are working. Why? Means I don't know, okay? I am working for my family. You understand? I am working for my children. I see. I am working for... I think you must be crazy. Please don't talk this language to me. That's because whenever I hear, whenever I say, why are you doing? Why are you saying, I am not interested in your okay? Please answer me. And in Indian case, nothing will answer, okay? You don't understand whether this fellow is saying yes or no, okay? Okay, this was a good habit in our childhood. Unfortunately, this present generation is confused because why we had this way? Because we were taught in our childhood, this beautiful concept we had. We were taught in our childhood, we are not supposed to open our mouth, raise our voice in front of elders. Our way of standing itself will express everything. That's why if they say, have you taken food? Because also elders were that much capable to understand our body language. In fact, they don't see whether we are doing this or that. Seeing our face, they can make out whether the fellow is eating or not, hungry or not, what is happening, all these details. But that has been wrongly interpreted. So conveniently people started using in the office, why did you come late? You understand? There you are supposed to talk in details, not that, your boss is not going to understand you either and need not understand. Coming back to the point here. So you need to work to improve yourself, not to prove yourself. The attitude of your work should be to prove generally. If you observe, anytime you do anything, why? To prove to be accepted. That is how you work, you function in your life. To prove yourself, to be accepted by someone and not 10 people. In your life, please observe yourself. You always work to be accepted at least 2-3 people by, maximum 2-3 people. If 2-3 people accept you in your life is done. Of course, those people keep changing, okay? That's the sad part of it. When I was a child, I was working to be accepted by not parents, my father, sometimes mother. Girls will be interested to be accepted by mother. Then what happened? Neither that mother nor that father accepted. Always a constant fight, you understand? And interestingly, with whom you want to be accepted or who should be accept you, that fellow becomes your role model in the beginning. In fact, who becomes your role model, you want to be accepted by that person. And whoever becomes role model, later on that fellow becomes object of hatred. That's why every child later on hates their parents. Can you see this point? In the childhood they admire, later on they hate. So okay, coming back, I worked a very hard way as a child to prove myself with my father or mother. Later on with my devils, siblings, okay? Or parallelly or little, okay? To prove them. Then later on with my friends. As I started becoming teenager, to impress my girlfriend or boyfriend, you understand? Impress means again proving, okay? Then later on, my teachers, boss and whatnot, and finally, people who work to prove to their children. That's the worst thing. How to prove? To be accepted by children. Why did you reject? And why are you working to accept? You understand? Because you had your own fancy, you ran away, you did this, you did that. Now you neglected your child. Now out of sense of guilty, you work to be accepted by your child. What a hell you have created for yourself. However, the point is here, you are working not to be accepted or rejected or not to prove yourself, but to improve. So here he says that you need to work to make sure that the work will help you to grow up emotionally. Chitta Sodhakam. That's why a sadhaka, as a rule, discussed technically many times, many occasions. If we divide karmas, one is Nitya, Naimittika karma. Nitya karma, Naimittika karma. Kamya karma. I hope you remember. We have discussed in Tattva Bodha, okay? Nitya karma, Naimittika karma, Kamya karma. Nishedha karma and Prayaschita karma. There are 5 types of karma. All the action put together can be divided into 5 categories. Nitya karma means the karma that is to be done regularly, daily, like taking bath, for example. We have puja and other things, a lot of things are there, Nitya karma. But I am reducing it to take shower every day. Not because it's winter cold, no, forget. Remember, even if you have fever, technically I'm trying to say, even if you have fever, you are supposed to take bath. How? First thing is you have to change your dress. Morning. When you have fever, change the dress, change the bedsheet every day, if possible every day 2 times, morning and evening. You will discover your fever will be cured very fast. This is the trick. These are the tricks and techniques. Whenever your mind is upset, you have to keep cleaning. In fact, when you get up late, the day you get up late, remember that day you have to keep cleaning your house. Because the day you get up late, that means tamas has taken over. So to reduce the tamasic aspect, get into rajasic mode, keep cleaning, so that it will get neutralized. These are the tricks and techniques to survive, to make your mind effective. However, coming back here. So here what we need to do, kamya karma, sorry, I made a mistake, nitya karma. Then after nitya comes naimitika karma, occasionally, like anniversary and other things, like let us say death anniversary, there are something to be done. So occasionally it comes. Then comes nitya, naimitika. Then third one is called kamya karma. Kamya karma means with a certain desire you do something for a purpose. Then fourth one is called nishedha karma. Nishedha karma means the karma that are not to be done, but you do. Because you have done nishedha karma, there is prasiddha karma, nishedha karma, prayaschitta karma. The word is not coming that way. Prayaschitta karma. So prayaschitta means to nullify. Not nullify, taking the responsibility that you have done. Prayaschitta, the purpose of prayaschitta, nullifying, that is, karma never gets nullified, okay? But when you take the responsibility that you have done this thing, I will give you a beautiful example we have in India. I'm sorry, I'm taking 2-3 minutes extra. See, we have a beautiful concept in India. Gohatya is very serious. Gohatya means killing a cow. It's a very painful thing, because it's a nishedha karma. You will incur the papa you cannot think of. Forget about killing a cow. Suppose you have tied down the cow, whether it is grazing or in your home or wherever. Let us say night something happens, let us say snake bites or something happens, or naturally cow dies, whichever way. If that particular rope is tied down on the neck, and whoever has tied down that on the thing, that person will have this gohatya papam, will be responsible for the death of the cow. This is the technically very clear. This karma is excellent. I have observed very technically with reference to astrology and lot of issues. It matches so nicely. Very logical, very scientific if you want to talk. Then what happens? Generally, if a child has done tie down, generally the house head, the one who is the head of the house, he takes over. But the child will be part of it, but not seriously, because the instruction must be given by the household, so that's why they take care. Interestingly, do you know what is the prayaschitam? The seriousness of this is, the day will be decided, that day onwards, the person cannot sleep in the home. Till now it is being followed, okay? The person cannot stay in the home. The day decides to start the work, because you have got 10 days, 15 days, 1 month, you can take time. Some exception is there. Then what happens? The person will first learn, has to sleep in the cow shed. Not in the home. Impossible. Not allowed at all. And whole family has to go through mourning, number one. And the person has to sleep in the cow shed. And the most important thing they do, the person will keep a straw in the mouth and go around, ask some, food and other things, and stating that, indirectly, not talking, they understand. That means I have done this mistake, or this mistake has happened without my knowledge, because of my irresponsibility, indirectly. Now, please help me. Then after that, some rituals, lot of rituals are there, and he has to give dhanam and all these things. Then everything will get nullified. So what does it mean is learning to take responsibility. Can you see? Even if the things have happened without your knowledge, really you are not responsible, but still it is your responsibility because you have failed in your responsibility. Like suppose you are a boss of a company, you did not log properly or you did not do something, but you trusted your assistant. That assistant took away money and went away. Now as a boss, are you responsible or not? No, you can't say no, I am not responsible, I have not done anything. Hey, you trusted wrong person. You did not do your duty either. So coming back here, this is what Pratishada karma means. Learning to, exactly. Prayaschitta karma. Prayaschitta karma means learning to take the responsibility, whatever mistake you have done. So a sadhaka is supposed to do only nitya and naimitika karma, not kamya. Of course, nisheda karma is not there and prayaschitta not required. Can you see this point? So when you do nitya and naimitya karma, that's why in sankalpa what we say, chita suddhyartham, for the purification of the mind. Mamopata samasta duritakshaya dwara Shri Parameswara Pityartham. First, mamopata, whatever mistake I have done, whatever has happened by me, this is what starting with, okay? Let everything get destroyed, and also of course to get the grace of the Lord. And finally what happens? Chita suddhyartham. If you don't remember anything, chita suddhyartham, for the purification of the mind, for the availability of the mind.